welcome to the Binge Thinker, episode 71. My name is Jameel Raymond. It's an absolute pleasure to have you here as always. On this week's episode, we are just keeping on, folks. Part 3. I'm just decided for a while, I'm just going to have fun talking to you, catching up on what's going on and building with you guys, what's happening with Tech Sales Academy and taking you through this business building process. I think that's interesting shit to document. And then, just keep telling you war stories from my sales days because there's plenty of valuable lessons in there to pick up, not just in business, but in life, right? We live life, business does not escape life. And one of the things that people do in business that's incorrect, one of the fundamental errors, is they try and disconnect what works in business that doesn't work like in the rest of the world. And like somehow being in business means you have to put all these certain formalities and all this bullshit in front of each other. But realistically, you would just love to do deals person to person and sort of build and collaborate in that, just in a personal relationship, right? That's what I talk about on this course. It's just get rid of the fucking mask. So, don't take lessons away from, business that don't apply to life or life to business. It's the same thing, is what I'm trying to say. We're also continuing on with the theme of me medicating and just having a bit of fun with you guys. So I did not take the Alpha Brain this week because I'm resting my brain, had a couple of late nights, and I don't want to keep going up and down, up and down. I can already feel that my brain is starting to fry a little bit. This is one of the signs of, overconsumption of weed in my brain is when I start to fry a little bit and then also forget things. Like I will often just watch thoughts disappear in my head and I'm actively engaged in watching it disappear and not even thinking about the thoughts disappearing, obviously. And I'm just knowing that's the boundary for me of my brain. That's the damage to my brain that I will accept before I have to take it off and take the accelerator off for a couple of days or take a rest. You know what I mean? So a couple of late nights, a couple of long days as well. Big weekend, a lot of fun, a lot of ups and downs. Recording this at 4:20 as we speak. Boom, just saw that on my fucking laptop just then. Good timing. So taking it easy, but also happy to announce that I've got a fresh range of flour. So as we've been talking about topping up and stuff, I had to renew my medical marijuana script, because I was almost out of my regular stuff and my license expired. I think it expires every 6 months. You've got to recheck every 6 months, something like that. I should look into that a bit more. But anyway, so I want to refresh my script. Had a great meeting with my doctor. And basically he's given me a range of different flours to try out because he knows that I'm a vapor and not much of an oils guy. So I've just gotten a fresh load of different strains, all to test out. I am flavored up. Right now I have somewhere in the range between 50 and 60 grams of medication in my house right now, I think. Which is a lot. Which is the most I've ever had ever, right? I've never been those guys that just carries around an ounce. I've always been a Q at best guy. So to have all this around me and just having all these varieties and flavors, it's like, ooh, a little bounty, a little something new to try. So I have tried a bit of it over the weekend. And I have to say right now I am on a nice hybrid THC CBD strain. And why this is important is because I've never had a CBD strain before that was 50-50. So with this Juno herb here, Australian made, all natural, according to the bottle that I'm reading off right now. 50-50 THC and CBD. So you still get some psychoactive components of the THC. You still get a little bit high, right? But you also get more of a relaxed, natural feeling with the CBD instead of getting just, it takes the edge off the THC a little bit. And so you get to a nice cruising altitude with this weed. So this medicine, this cannabis, is I think going to be my new go-to, as I was just taking a full-time sativa. So it was a little bit higher in THC. I think it's about 19 or 20% THC. And this is 11.5. So a big drop. And that's just and that's what I talk about on, this is medicine, right? And you want to progress off this stuff. Is that, yes, it will always be part of my life recreationally, but you still want to get it to a point where you can balance out your life and still enjoy yourself and make sure that you are on top of everything, which I'm very obsessed with, as you guys know. And by containing my consumption down to a very particular level, I'm able to do that. And now comfortably, go through pretty much the everyday, medicating daily, but still getting proper REM sleep, still getting my shit together. So I will talk about that. We'll do a 420 special in April where I'll talk about learnings. I think I've talked about this every episode. That's probably because every episode starts with weed, and may do so for some time being, because we'll talk about I'll do a fresh strain over the next few weeks and let you know how the high is. Because right now this is good. It's a good body, mid-high, 222 on my oven clock. Good timing everywhere. Good stuff, folks. But yes, very relaxing. Still bright. Still got a nice heady high, which is what I like. I'm not too big fan of the body high because I always get tired. Like, I'm a sativa guy, uplifting. Yeah, very light and conversational. Had this with a few friends on the weekend on Invasion Day. Invasion Day evening, rather. And yeah, just had it for the first time. And it was great. Great for a party, great for a chit chat, great for a conversation. Right? This one of the concepts that you should learn is cruising altitude. The problem with smoking weed in a lot of cases for people is they're punching bongs and multiple bongs, and they don't realize that's heavy, or you're having a joint where you don't know what the percentage is, you don't know the quality of the weed. So there's so many variables that can affect the quality of the high. But now, having this medical strain and then also having a very particular and singular way of consuming it at 190 degrees every time through my vaporizer, you get to a level where you can tinker and you can now optimize what the experience feels like. So I know that I'm always going to get to X altitude, right? A good cruising altitude. And that is what makes it safe, is that I can be, still have a bit of fun, lose a few brain cells, but not be a danger to the public or not go into an anxiety spiral like I have before. So that's what's good about the art of optimizing this sort of consumption, which I will talk about in a later ep. Already getting involved. See, I am a goddamn wizard sometimes. Speaking of wizard, by the way, if you are watching on the YouTubes, you would have noticed the very nice shirt that I'm wearing. I got this piece from Queensland Football Club. Shout out to Ken Sakata and what he's doing at Queensland Football Club. A cool dude, right? If Queensland FC is his clothing brand for a fake football club that doesn't exist. Very funny, very clever way of developing a brand. Ken, hilarious, very smart dude, doctor by day, business owner by night. I mean, how's that for, overachieving Asian? Me too, right? No offense. But yeah, made some great clothing, really vibe with this brand. And I bought this Japanese crochet knit shirt yesterday. It caught my eye when they first put it up, and I was like, fuck yeah, getting that. But yes, I look like I'm wearing a giant doily. But it's a vibe, man. It's a serious vibe. It's not like those it's not a circular sort of meshy crochet. It's like it's got a nice design, bit tribal. Big fan of it. And I thought, hey, if I'm gonna, put my face out in the YouTubes a bit more, I should dress up a little bit, enjoy myself, Now we can claim this as a tax deduction now because it's the cost of production for my brand. See, marketing genius. Oh, we're having fun. So, what's happening? Yes, shirt. Do I have anything else to say about the shirt? No, it's good. Just wanted to give it a shout out. And yes, talked about the weed. Absolutely. Back to programming. What's been happening in the world of developing Tech Sales Academy? Well, today has been the first week that I have put in full efforts to producing the actual body of work to be the first cut of the course. So I have finally, out of the 15 plus hours of content that I had presumed that I had, because I can fucking talk about this for ages, right? It's not like, that's the problem, is that I've got too much and I have to whittle it down into a good, I can already tell that this first, I'm doing it 4 1-hour set blocks, right? This first hour is not going to be an hour because I'm explaining end to end my entire Tech Sales OS process, right? So this is the structure that I follow every sales year, right? So I've reworked it and boiled it down to a framework that covers every step of the sales funnel and what activities I do in each and how I set myself up for success. So you could throw me into any portfolio, into any tech business, anywhere and I would just do this, right? And this is my intellectual property. This is my baby of how I operate as a top 1% seller. So I'm just copying and pasting that, just getting it out of my brain in as much detail as possible and passing it on to the next generation. I'm downloading my operating system into their brain. So that's a lot, right? An operating system is a lot of data. It's core, right? It's huge. So I've had to whittle it down to what's the absolute important, what's the most unique. They're going to get it all anyway, right? I just need to put something together that I know is going to be impactful and has the most value and get that out there first. And then from there, I just expand on it, right? No matter what happens, no matter what stage you are in the buyer's journey for my course, where you are, you're going to get the whole fucking thing of my brain in there, right? The idea is to just pour it all out. And you guys, and then, put it in a system and in a way that gives my people as much value as possible as a result, just to pass it on. Because really, I'm just passing on energy, right? I'm just a big dump of informational energy, a bunch of zeros and ones that it programmed to their brain makes them better. Like, that's what really all great art and all creations are, just bundles and balls of energy, right? They're usually, if they're, like a music, is just a bunch of waves. Art is just a bunch of color waves, right? Colors are different waves on the electromagnetic spectrum, right? And the light spectrum. So literally, as humans, we are only communicating in waves, in frequencies. So by producing something like this, I'm putting a big ball of energetic frequency into a package of information. That's really all what information is. It's just a bunch of frequencies passing through our brains and sort of linking up our neural networks together. That's really what, our core intellectual development process is. Very strange. And that's that was the advanced version of the shit I want to talk about spiritual technology in later parts of the Binge Thinker, where we are just all balls of energy if you just think about it from a physical perspective. And now a spiritual perspective is that we are vibes pushing vibes to each other. Right? So I just have to I'm just trying to take all of my vibe and all of my brain into this course over time. But still first, making it punchy, making me get to the fucking point, like this podcast, for example, is a challenge for me. It really is. Regardless, we push on, right? Get out of the system, become a good editor, become ruthless, test. This ain't the end, but I am just very dedicated to making sure this thing fucking kicks, right? I'm already 100% confident that this will add 6 to 7 figures in version 1 already, right? 6 figures minimum. You're adding $100,000 into your back pocket by getting this course. I can just tell you that for sure. $1 million on a longer time scale, and I think I do need to put a little bit more detail into the course over time. I think you'll need implementation for that. You'll need to be coached by me, I think, to get to $1 million. But that's a good value for $5,000 to get to $1 million. That's fucking a great value right now, right? So kick on, fucking sign the fuck up. I'm sure your guys are sold, but flat out, Jesus Christ. But sorry, excuse me. Yeah, invested in the course, all in, really enjoying it. Having to just learn to be quick. I do get caught up in the details of the design, and I spend a lot of time realigning text. That's, I'm very pedantic about the design of my pitch decks, right? Because that's what made me money. I literally say that the details count. It's about the quality of your engagements. So of course, if I'm going to put the same level and standard into a pitch deck that makes me $2 million, I'm going to put that same level of fucking effort into even what I believe is the first version of my course. It might be version 1, but it's got to be great from the fucking start and set the standard from day dot, because that's how I've operated my entire life. So there is this challenge for me between being quick and being to standard because I'm just concerned about time. Although I could just fucking riff on any of this stuff anyway. I think the hardest part is just putting the words together in pictures and sort of creating the narrative, the physical narrative of the course itself. Because I could just talk off the top of my head. That's what I did for a bunch of episodes a few months ago now. Anyway, it's good to have people on the platform. In school, I'm excited. I'm seeing already lots of green shoots from the stuff that I've been putting out there. More sales of the course. Fucking beautiful, right? People are coming out. I just had a sale today. Lovely lady from South Africa. Hello there if you ever find your way to this. Again, no proactive sales, no pushing of the course. People are coming to me or they're just somehow finding their way through my funnel, which I've taken a lot of time to fix up and tweak and make better now. It should be relatively lean now. It should be good. And yeah, just buying the course and just being like, yeah, I want to save 50% and I'm bought into whatever you're doing and let's have a fucking go at it. Beautiful. Amazing. This is just, whew. Like, it's going to be big. I know it. I do have this sense that shit's going to go off at a certain point with this thing. Because I also still have the Hawaii video up my sleeve, right? I do believe that that's going to have an amazing ROI and that marketing ploy is going to pay off of me recording the course. Because now what I've realized as well, just to share you with, the inner workings of my business mind, is that I have a heap of content and videos and photos that I've taken from all of my travels over the last 12, 18 months while I've been at Cisco. And some of that is in like very good quality. Like I've done some pretty fucking wild things, right? I went on where did I go? I went in a helicopter through the Grand Canyon. I went to Austin. Like, I saw Sting, Katy Perry. I went to Amsterdam. Was in like a beautiful rooftop bar in Bangkok for work. I've done some pretty cool shit in that time. So again, I want to show, paint the picture of the lifestyle. So I'm going to go through my phone, dump out all of that content, all of the, the memories that I've created for myself and just give it to an editor to create content clips of my top 1% year and, what being a top 1% seller looks like. And then just having fucking mad action shots all the way. It's good. It's good marketing, right? So just putting that out there, that's how I think is like, I'm selling more than a course. I'm selling a lifestyle, right? I'm selling a level up. And you want to see the fucking level ups. You want to see what life could look like for you by manifesting and working in front of this direction. So why wouldn't I show you the amazing, bountiful, fantastic things that I've done as a result of being good at what I do and doing it like with earnestly. I've been saying earnestly a lot this weekend and I still feel weirdly, I'll be honest, I use a lot of words sometimes that sound like they should be there but aren't meant to be. So earnestly is like I'm being legitimate, but earnest doesn't have the same undertone. So for people who don't know what earnest means, let me get you an example here. A dictionary approval. Okay, according to the dictionary on Google, earnestly means with sincere and intense conviction. Seriously. So, yeah, I guess I am sincere and have conviction. So I am saying earnestly, but earnest doesn't sound passionate. You know what I mean? Being earnest is like, I always think of the importance of being earnest. Like, and earnest is just because it's such a soft sounding word, doesn't sound like it has that, intense conviction that it should. So it's like, yeah, because I want to say with conviction, but earnestly already says that. So yeah, anyway, again, this is just what goes on in my stupid little head sometimes. It's fun, but there you go. I'm sure you guys do some same shit. So I don't even know again. Yes, I have lost too many brain cells this weekend, folks. I can definitely tell you that. But we push on. talking about updates. That'll do for now. Oh, actually, by the time you listen to this, it'll be too late. But the first episode of the newsletter, Top 1% Club, will be out. I've just put that out. They should be going out in the next hour or so as I record this. Man, I'm actually excited to write a newsletter because one of my secret superpowers is writing. I mean, it's a bit obvious because I write sales things and I write jokes and I do a lot of writing. But now that I've just put it into a really direct format, which is building a course or putting my thoughts onto paper in general and just having a space for it to be creative, not just businessy, right? Because I'm actually talking about things that I talk about on this podcast, but somehow I'm sort of turning that from my personal podcast into business insight. So for example, the first episode of the newsletter, the first edition rather of the newsletter, is about systems. Of course it is, right? You are an organic system selling digital ecosystems, in brackets, in an ecosystem, because that's what you are when you're a tech seller. But in general, we are organic systems combined together. So actually teaching that as a principle to tech people seems really cool and fun because I will be giving everything away, like we've talked about in this podcast, in that newsletter. So to get this business-focused IT tech crowd, and I'm going to be talking to them about weird spirituality principles and the power of gratitude and how you must align gratitude in the heart as a gateway to receivership, and the great works of Dr. Joe Dispenza, and opening that potentially to a global B2B audience. And they're going to be like, what the fuck is this guy in the doily talking about? But it's medicine, right? It's spiritual medicine for the people. You know, they come for the capitalism and stay for the what would they stay for? The spirituality? Yeah, I guess it's a good paradox, but I wish it sort of rhymed or meant better phonetically, right? So yes, that's where we're at with Tech Sales Academy for this week. Really enjoying it. And then over the next 4 weeks, I'll be doing the course 3 times on a Saturday and a Sunday for the next 4 weeks. So this is the gauntlet, ladies and gentlemen, but I am ready. My Angus is prepared. So let's go back. We're going to kick back to, what year would this be? I'm going to kick off the reminiscing of my tech sales career. I talked about Mari Stopes last week, and talked about Save the Children a little bit, just about not-for-profit customers. And I do want to expand on Save the Children a bit more, though, because again, it's about talking about technology with purpose, having a lot of fun, and doing something cool, right? These are the best parts of the job, right? It's challenging as hell to be doing all this, but when you look back on this business, this case study that I have, it's pretty cool that I've got to achieve that and do something so transformative and be really a part of something to really impact society. So Save the Children was my second case study. So vendor case study. So this Save the Children, I had a great relationship with them spanning my last 2 or 3 years at Telstra. Barry, my oafsome manager from last week, put me in charge of the account just after they'd been sold the fucking dream, and they needed an account manager on hand to deliver it and maintain the relationship, because no one was there. There was no account manager when they sold the actual deal. So I just picked up the vacant deal and had to deliver it. So it didn't get any of the sales comms on it, but had to deal with all of the fucking delivery for the dream being fucking sold. Insane. Brutal. That's one of the fucking shit parts of being an account executive, is that sometimes they'll just fucking throw you turds, because they'll be like, he's good, so he can deal with this, right? Big transformation, big business. So, but yes, I got to know the CTO and the head of service delivery I'll keep their names out for now, but great blokes, right? We got along legitimately. They were a good bunch of blokes. They were close friends as well as colleagues. And yes, the CTO had a lot of personal connections inside the Telstra ecosystem, especially the delivering partner that won this deal, which was Skepsy. They can say their name. That's the name of the company that won the deal. And I had to deal with them as far as delivering this huge project, right? So let me give you the rundown, because it was quite a big deal. So it's 110 sites all around Australia in the Asia Pacific region, upgraded to an MPLS connection so a private fiber connection, which was not cheap. Having a hybrid WAN, so a mixture of internet, tels, and MPLS connections using Meraki as the networking layer. 800 Microsoft Teams seats migrations of traditional telephony, managing a fleet of 230 mobile plans at a not-for-profit. Regional sites, very regional sites and satellite sites. We're talking the middle of fucking nowhere, WA, like the back of fucking Whoop Whoop. Just all of it, right? But that's just part of the game. That's what happens when you, it's part of the mission. It's just crazy that, we had to deliver internet to, just bare red earth. Crazy. In the middle of goddamn nowhere. But yes, so that was a lot. And then we were looking at their cybersecurity as well, potentially partnering with Microsoft and uplifting some capabilities in that space because they were using Azure. Big. All of their business that we could give, that we could deal with, we sorted out over the 2 or 3 relationship. And I got I got given a fucking nightmare when this came to me because, again, like all of the pre-sales in Telstra fucking sucked. So there were a lot of promises made that are administrative nightmare to actually deliver on. Easy to talk about, but when you have to deliver it and actually do the back-end process to make this shit work, it's a fucking nightmare, especially when, again, I didn't get paid in this deal. I got all the revenue, and I did get lots of additional deals out of it later, but still, just left holding an absolute baby. And then also, this relationship started just before the pandemic hit. So they had to deliver this fucking network and deliver this entire solution during the pandemic, which was insane. And then also, we had those gigantic bushfires at the end of 2019, before the pandemic, those huge bushfires. And because so many regional towns are affected in the areas that Save the Children service, they needed additional services and mobile plans to support the people on the ground ASAP. So what I did is that I had a certain credit limit that I could issue discretionary credits to customers with, and my manager said a little bit more. So I spoke with my manager, Rowan, great dude, about, hey, mate, they need a bunch of phones ASAP, just whatever we can get them out, just to help get communications into these really badly bushfire affected areas, because Telstra's the only thing that really works out there. Can we give them, I think it was 22 grand, it was 25 grand Inc. GST, so it would have been like 22 grand credit to buy a bunch of just, low, mid-tier mobile devices. This is about volume, not quality. A bunch of mid-level smartphones out to these regional areas and get them services and stuff. And he's like, yep, we'll do that. So we donated, like 25 grand worth of phones and devices and stuff. That's a goodwill gesture. Great for the relationship, right? To go, hey, we're really putting in legitimate cash here to support the cause and partner with you guys. All right. Very well received. CIO, very appreciative. And it was a real good news story for us inside the business. And then again, became a focal point of the case study when it got released probably about 12 months after this happened. Because I think we had the case study developed as part of this whole of business relationship. It was a significant investment. And the CIO, he likes a bit of fame. Status. A lot of executives are there for the status. Men play status games. We all play status games. I'm not trying to pick old mate out individually. We all do it, right? We all like a little bit of pomp. We all like a little bit, why not? A little bit, it's good. It's good for the ego. A little recognition, right? So the CIO actually presented at Telstra Vantage, which was remote, unfortunately, which is like our big technology conference in Telstra at the time. And it's actually a lot of fun to do these big conventions, these tech conventions for me, because I actually get to interact with the tech and I get to talk to people. I get to be in my element, which is I'm a live person, right? I'm best experienced in person. So I'm out there, we're enjoying, we're talking, we're interacting with the technology, we're talking to experts, getting heaps of insights, seeing some cool shit. It's a lot of fun. It's really a lot of fun. I might just do content while I'm go to big tech exhibitions and just do content. That's actually a great idea. Man, marketing machine. Anywho, talking about Save the Children. Yeah, again, this was the reason why this worked so well, and it was a challenge, actually. It worked well with the relationship, but there was a shitload of work. It really tested me and my capabilities as an account manager, even with all my mastery of systems and knowledge, internal systems. It was a lot of work to maintain these guys, but again, you feel bound to the cause of supporting, a noble cause, which is a not-for-profit. You align to what they're doing out there. They're doing great things. So you lean the fuck in, like donating the phones, knowing, again, that the technology solutions that I put out through, in partnership with these customers is to enable some cool shit happening out in society, right? People are getting the internet for the first time. There are remote communities that are getting education and quality education for the first time. There's a bunch of families that are actually staying connected together because they've got infrastructure and phones, and they don't have to worry about the cost of this stuff because they just need to, have someone to be connected to. And I facilitate that. That's cool. It's not about the sale, right? It's about what's the outcome, what's the benefit of all this. And this is technology for purpose, again. So knowing that this is what I'm doing out there is that, education, empowerment, connection, this is what we're doing. This is what technology is meant to be for. So yeah, you lean the fuck in and you want to make an impact. So yeah, these guys, grind of a customer, nothing personal about them. I'm just talking about the process inside Telstra, shitty beast of a machine. Ugh. But got to know these guys personally, got to meet their partners, took them out to the footy a couple of times. We became mates, and I'm due to catch up with them. I am due to catch up with them. I should give them a buzz now that I'm free. But again, we take the mask off. I'm just a dude that thinks this is cool. What can I do from my side of the fence? That's what I did, right? That's how I managed the customer. Yes, there's still going to be processes in the way and you've got to work the machines, right? But as far as the intent to serve, as far as how do I treat these people, I treat them as myself as an extension of their team, because I don't fucking care how much it costs. I don't care. Because I get remunerated on this shit anyway. So I'm not going to be like, let me get a couple of points out of this. I don't give a fuck, right? I'm going to get paid on the stuff anyway. It's beyond money at this point. It's there. It's part of the equation. Don't get me wrong. But there was zero hand rubbing at all of the money or commissions or deals that we were making. It's just like, how can I get this done properly? How can I get this done right? And that's what happens, is that when don't be so focused on the fucking money. What is more valuable than money? It's time, energy, identity. We've talked about this so many goddamn times. I am teaching the hierarchy of commitment inside the course. So everyone's getting a goddamn taste of the hierarchy of commitment. It's one of the best pieces of medicine for social psychologists and social sellers and all that sort of shit out there. And it really is. It really is. It is Maslow's hierarchy of needs evolved. It really is. I gotta make t-shirts that says, I love hierarchy of commitment. That'd be so good. And then at the top of the pyramid of the hierarchy, over identity would just be me and the identity of the hierarchy of commitment. Anyhow, So, I'm going to call this one out. What are we at? 35-ish. All right. So they haven't always been great customers, right? Let's talk about one of the shit ones. Oh, fuck. Oh, man, I'm digging some shit out. I will not say the name of the company, and I will change the name of this guy that I want to talk about, but they haven't all been fucking roses, folks. Oh my God. So one of the worst customers I had ever, the worst customer I've ever had was this guy, I don't even know what to fucking call him. Let's call him Gary. And Gary is from a auto parts distributor. That's the company. And Gary, now that I look back, because this is before I had any idea about like consciousness and like a better understanding of people and how they operate and what trauma they operate from. I dealt with him pre all of that, so I didn't really have a better idea. But he was one of the biggest pieces of shit I ever dealt with in my entire life. He was a slippery gypsy of a human being. Like, he would just complain about everything. Nothing would ever be good enough for this guy. Completely unimpressed, had the most unrealistic expectations of what he expected as a customer, and changed his expectations at the flip of a fucking switch. And again, he was just an absolute slippery gypsy of a human being that could just like somehow twist his own change of interpretation as your fault. Like as someone that, is usually very fucking good at debating and having a mental acuity over people, he beat me. All right, this motherfucker broke me at some point. He absolutely did. God, he was a fucking piece of shit. But he wasn't aggressive though. He was just raggedly determined to get his way. But I don't know. He was Italian, but not. He was like a second generation Italian, right? He was born here. His parents probably not, but he had that Italian, like that hand pinchy sort of vibe. The Italian hand pinch. Like he wasn't like full on wog like that, but he just had that that little when they do the hand thing and then they shrug their shoulders a little bit. He just, I don't know, man. He's even thinking about this fucking, now. It gives me the fucking shits. And again, also fucking my manager's fault that I had this dipshit because he couldn't deal with him. So he had to keep palming him off. But every time he always just escalated back to whatever the dickhead's name I called him last week. My manager, I forgot now. Oh, Barry. And there's Gary and Barry. Okay, yeah. So Gary, the customer, is the fault of Barry, my manager, because Gary got overpromised a deal and it was the worst. And again, even getting the deal done, no one should have fucking committed to the deal that they ever did with him because he just whittled everyone down and tried to negotiate down to the bone in the most insane way. But people just wanted a goddamn deal. So they just promised him whatever he wanted and then fucked off after it was done. And again, we were left holding another baby. And it was an absolute abortion of a baby. And Gary made shit just worse, right? Again, just being a slippery gypsy, just not getting to the point where it got in his own way and in his own interest of getting things done. He wanted to be right more than he wanted to be done in some ways. He's just, Anyway, that's enough hate. It hasn't been great. Clearly, this guy has gotten the better of me because he, even now, years later, has got me in a fucking spin cycle. So yeah, it ain't all roses, folks. That's what I wanted to say with that. Anything else would save? Case study, great guys, technology for purpose. What else is there in that? No, I think that's really about it. And then, let me talk to you about this is insane, is that This third customer, Hassel, real company, not a big deal that they're going to say this in public. I think they'll be fine with it. Hassel, big architectural firm, had another nightmare customer, but not their fault. Telstra, again, you don't understand. It's understated how fucking shit the pre-sales process is at Telstra and how many fucking turds I had to clean up of accounts because people would just make promises, didn't understand the process, and then just throw this shit over the fence once the deal was done to delivery. No one understood what the fuck was going on, and it fell in a flaming heap. Right? Oh, God. So I've inherited another flaming turd from Barry because there's no one else of the senior account executives. This is a senior account executive account. I was just a regular account executive at the time. Same with Save the Children, by the way. So I was already doing senior in my first and second year, rather, of being an account executive. I was already dealing with large senior account executive accounts, right? $1 million customers, $1 million plus customers of revenue. Multi-million. Yeah. So with Hassel, sold the moon 5 years ago, completely botched the delivery. The billing systems are fucked. People have made promises they can't deliver on. It's compounded and compounded and compounded. It's gotten to a point now where there's $1 million of disputes in aged debt, right? So it's been sitting there for like a few years. It's up to 5 years old, some of this debt. Probably not, but like at least 3 years of debt, which is very bad debt in financial terms. $1 million of disputes. No idea what's going on in there. The account is a mess. Billing disputes out the wazoo. And they're approaching the end of their contract. So there's like, why wouldn't you churn and just leave this all behind and let Telstra deal with this stuff? So get given them. The head of technology there, who I met, she was, to others, hard work. But don't blame her because the Telstra people would have been fucking idiots. Again, so Hassel went through 4 account managers in 5 years, and then it came to me, right? No one could deal with them properly. No one could deal with all of the billing issues and the stress, just in the confusion of how many disputes there were. Because look, the processes behind the scenes for Telstra was fucking shit, and just like Telstra's core system is older than me. Their core billing system is on COBOL, which is a mainframe application. It is over 35 years old. And one of their biggest problems in that system is that the engineers and the people that know how to maintain that system are dying. So that's how old and shitty this computer system is that runs a lot of what Telstra's billing system is for the enterprise. Nightmare. Okay? Big tech companies have a lot of fucking tech debt. Right? Big old tech companies have a lot of tech debt. It needs to be said. And because I've been victim to it plenty. So with Hassel, challenging customer. I got to befriend the CTO because I'm not there pretending that I've got all the answers, but I'm helpful. I do have my experience. I'm like, hey, this is a test. Let's see what we can do together. I am empathetic, right? And the CTO, I think they notice, right, that I'm personable, and they want to give me a chance because I'm saying, hey, give me a chance. I would love, to sort this out. Anyway, it's going away for a while. Took a long time to fix the account. Took me about 18 months, almost 2 years to fix that account end to end, right? To get them from $1 million worth of age debt down to $0. And then what I actually did was re-sign their entire account, a $3 million account, plus growth. So I went from negative $1 million to positive 4.5 in the 3 years that I had managed them, right? That's the power of the skill set that I'm trying to teach in this academy and what I'm putting in the course. That's the kind of shit I'm talking about. I took them from $1 million worth of age debt, and I'd be like, they've probably sued Telstra at that point, at certain points, should have sued them and threatened legal action, I'm pretty sure, to then them re-signing their entire account, reinvesting even more into Telstra, and building and helping enable some crazy projects that they are a part of at the moment. Like they are, so Hassel as an architectural firm are involved in some huge projects in Australia. So knowing again, I'm having a little impact into something that's pretty fucking big and cool in Australia. But that was my magnum opus as far as account management, Hassel, because I had to I guess the relationship with the CTO also is very important to it, because I had a good relationship. Again, I'll protect identities here just in case I don't feel like it, but I feel like it should be fine. I do feel a bit insecure about talking about this in public, right? That's all it is. If I catch up with them, they call it, I'll let you guys know later. But so the previous CTO, she left, and they found a replacement, and this guy, the new CTO, good dude. Built a solid relationship. Most of our relationship was strained, not personally, but just because we were in the pandemic. So we had to clean up this account. He just walked into a mess of an account. I'm trying to fix it, getting a good clip on it. He's had to renegotiate the whole recontracted of his entire business, right? And he's walked into $1 million of the debt, a bill that makes no sense. And somehow I'm supposed to convince this guy to recontract and stay with Telstra despite the last 5 years of horseshit that's occurred. So I understand why he's a bit not apprehensive, but I can understand his perspective on this, right? But again, I go, hey mate, I'm committed to fixing this account, having a great relationship, building something. And he goes, okay, great, he's been in the game for a while. So like we've talked about, who the fuck are you? Who's this fresh-faced kid that thinks he can, make this all happen and create a good relationship? We'll see what happens. And yeah, we went through some challenging times together because, the peak of our relationship was during 2020 when we were negotiating the contracts and redesigning the future architectural designs of their network and their solutions, and the way we were working with them. We did a 8-site global SD-WAN, right, including getting sites into China, which is very challenging as as a service provider, because China's got the Great Firewall of China. So designing IP networks to get access to the Chinese ecosystem or into Chinese sites like Shanghai, complex, right? So complex, redundant, global SD-WAN, right? So redundant SD-WAN, what does that mean? They had 2 internet tails, 2 internet connections, big pipes at each site of theirs, which drastically improved the internet bandwidth capacities at the sites, which is good because most of their stuff was on SaaS now. And because it's on SaaS, they need solid internet connections, not network connections. They need pipes out to the internet, not pipes in between sites. And 600 team seat migration off off Skype for Business, migrating them off-prem onto cloud calling. 600 seats, global again, painful, challenging, especially in the early days of Microsoft Teams when all of the infrastructure to migrate services wasn't as developed yet. Wasn't those features. It was a bit more of a challenge. 200 mobile fleet. What else have they got? We did with them. Their public cloud subscription was billing through Telstra. So I had to try and retain that and give them incentives to stay billing through Telstra, and so Telstra receives a commission instead of billing through AWS direct. So there's a lot of work to do in here. They are a multi-million-dollar account, right? One of my largest, easily, and there's a lot on the line here. And yeah, again, through committing to the process, I had to run a regular fortnightly cadence with them, with their IT support team, to try and fix all these issues and remediate them all, because there were so many, right? So for like 2 years, I'm doing this remediation work with them, catching up regularly. but also getting to know them because we're suffering through the fucking pandemic together. So everyone's working from home. There's shit everywhere. It's early, this is early pandemic. We had no fucking idea what was going on, how you're organizing work situations, how people are going to get connected. That pandemonium organizationally for an IT department is a fucking nightmare. So, yeah, going through the shit of it and of the pandemic together, no one's really no one's using their cameras much, even though we're on Teams all the time, because people just glum. It was tough. But we still design a solution together, maintain a good relationship, co-design together, and just chipped away at those billing issues. Turns out that out of the $1 million, Telstra owed $600,000 in credits. So that they hadn't committed and actually paid off, and Hassel had to pay the rest. So because we had gone through and that was after a very detailed reconciliation of the bill. And they accepted, so they paid their bit, we sorted out ours, and it took 5 years, and it took 6 years total from signing the contract to getting it cleaned up. And it took me, almost 2 years, or 18 months to 2 years of work to get every single issue off that account and work through the systems to get them creased out, to get $1 million off the system. Fucking painful, right? But, again, it just builds EXP in the tank, right? And again, this pièce de résistance is about the efforts involved to actually do the fucking work and get it done right. And because, again, as someone that's committed to helping people, you would easily see, we built a good relationship with CTO and I. He's a head of technology, CTO, same thing, right? Yeah, I helped him make sure that his technology strategy came to fruition. He uplifted services in the business. He showed his value to the organization. He's also able to enable his business through the effective use of technology and show his value in that way. I got to actually climb this fucking mountain and seemingly fix the unfixable and keep all of their business. So they re-signed everything with me. And then they had to invest into more technology projects and uplift their cloud infrastructure. So we did that project through me. And then they're going to spend another $3 or $4 million in cloud over the next 3 years that I had put in there. So, yeah, probably about a net $5 million turnaround in 2.5 years of work. So, yeah, that's pretty cool to go from negative $1 million in just disputes and shit all the way to $4 million invested plus over the 3 years that we had done all our contracts and agreements for. That is fucking work, baby. That is some account management. Oh, speaking of which, just to top that off and show that I know what I'm fucking talking about when it comes to account management, I got a top voice badge on LinkedIn yesterday. So the LinkedIn top voice badge for account management and business relationship management. That's pretty neat. I've only been posting consistently on LinkedIn for fucking like 6 weeks now since I went viral and shit. And yeah, through consistent posting and working on they have collaborative articles on LinkedIn. So they basically have the database of questions that people can ask. Answer. They have like questions about business, and like it's like a community-based forum where they sort of create through AI questions that people might want to ask about a certain role or a certain task, like account management, and then people from this LinkedIn community answer those questions. So I would answer people's questions or those AI questions to contribute. And by doing a lot of those, they go, hey, here, this guy knows what he's fucking talking about, because people would like my contributions and be like, this guy knows what he's fucking talking about. So now I'm a top voice for account management, business relationship management on LinkedIn, baby. Whew, talk about alignment. Good shit. Good shit. Yeah. Those are my big three. Save the children, Mari Stopes, Save the Children, Hassle. Of my 4 years 4 years of account management, and as an account executive and a BDM at Telstra. I did all those 3 accounts in 4 years, millions of dollars. How much will they have spent as a collective? Oh, probably about $6 or $7 million, if not more. No, more than that in sales. Let's just call it 7. Doesn't matter. In a 4-year period, which is pretty crazy for mid-market accounts. All right, mid-market accounts, like at Cisco, mid-market accounts, the average deal size is like 60 to 100K. And I'm doing multi-million dollar accounts. That's what we're talking about here. So, yeah, I knew what the fuck I was doing when it came to account management. I do want to talk, well, I will talk about one more next week, I think, and then talk about my last year in Telstra, because that's got a lot of its stories of its own, right? I think I did talk about that in the episode where I did the last 18 months and did a bit of a catch up there, but fuck, no one remembers, especially if you're one of the, the smart stoners like me that are listening to this podcast and don't even remember what you had for fucking lunch last week, because I don't fucking do that. I have no clue. Here's an embarrassing part of my week. So as part of, obviously I track my macros every week, every day, but I don't track them every day. And because I'm high every day, I forget what I've eaten during the week. So what I have to do is basically, I know what I've eaten for lunch because it's always the same thing, just a fuckload of steak, a big hunk of steak. So it's easy to track those macros. But literally what I have to do is go through Uber Eats pretty much like 3 or 4 weeknights at the moment, and just retrace my steps using my Uber Eats app and, just my bank card to sort of retrace my food steps to try and figure out the calories I consumed for dinner those nights. And I have to do that pretty much every Sunday. I do that pretty much, it's part of my Sunday routine is being like, fuck, what did I eat last week? I'm trying to figure it out while I'm waiting for my brunch. Life. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there, folks, because I need a few more brain cells back. I need to rest. I've done pretty much an hour anyway. See you next week, folks. Quick plugs, techsales.academy, website's looking better. Join this mailing list, right? Join the Top 1% Club mailing list. It's going to be a lot of fun. Going to give you some cool shit in writing, all of this stuff in your phone, punchy, to the point, yours for life. Tech Sales Academy pre-sale on now, motherfuckers. It is selling. It's selling well. I'm very happy with the progress. $498 for the course, USD, yours for life. Fuck all the updates, right? Deal with me every fucking single day if you want. I will teach you how to be fucking great at sales. So 50 seats to start. I'm down to what, 43? So not bad for 2 weeks of not even plugging it once. Very happy with that. I did plug it actually in the newsletter. So we'll see in a couple of days if people from the newsletter have picked it up. Curious. Anywho, that's really it for now. If you're on the YouTubes, like, subscribe, share with a friend. If you're on the pods, give that a fucking 5-star, you know what I mean? Anyway, love you. See you next week. Ciao.